Okay, fixed tap delays, but with one delay loop. For this, first we have to understand the idea of integration, and that's a fairly simple thing. We create an add node and insert a cone and plug it back to itself, and let's see what it does. I create a scope with the frequency of 1 Hz, set it to Hertz input, create a gain lane, set the volume to 0, and create a few outputs. And if I hit one key on my keyboard, let's see, this is we are in effect mode, okay. If I hit one key on my keyboard and let it go, then we will have a trigger. If I hit the key, we will have the trigger to be exact. And after that, the signal will stay at 1, because the integral of a constant is the constant itself, so this outputs the integral. If I hit it once again, then the integral will be 2. Yes, here you can see here. So that's okay, this is working fine. And we can create a little window, so we can keep this, we can only integrate a fraction of time simply by adding the inverse of this value delayed. So if we create a delay, edit the same input, and delay by several samples. So we will delay by samples here. So we will multiply the length of with the length of a sample. And but we still want to keep the delay times in milliseconds. So let's say if we want to have 100 milliseconds, then to know how many samples this is, then we have to divide by the number of samples. And to be sure that this is an integer value, we have to truncate this here. And this way we have the closest to 100 milliseconds, but in integer sample length. And we can plug this into the delay as the delay length. Yeah, actually we can put this whole thing into a node. So like this is the delay input, and this is the delay in samples, like this. And if we plug this in here, seconds to, let's say, something like this, probably gives it some sense. Okay, and if we invert this, so if the output of the delay gets inverted, then it's going to have the opposite polarity. And if we add this to the input of the integrator, then we will integrate the inverse after a delay. So we basically subtract what we added. Let's take a look if this works. So after 100 milliseconds, the signal will get back to 0, and it does. And we can use this idea for our advantage. So, or create an interesting delay. Like, let's say in this patch, I do not only want to have one. I do not want to delay only by one sample, but I want to delay by multiple samples. So actually, at least the same delay length as we have here. Let me move this here down. And then I want to put a multiplication here, because I want to set that by how many, so how much later we want to introduce this subtraction. So I create a knob for these, put it to steps, and also truncate it so that we do not have fractions, and let's say from 1 till 4 for the time being. And let's take a look if this works or not. It's not right yet, because of, you can see that the inverted signal was not symmetric, so we have to subtract the length of a sample here because we have one sample additional delay because of the feedback. And I've seen comments that how can a modular system not handle delays, feedbacks without delays? They can't. So let's take a look at this. There's only, I have to move this. So 2, so 3, 4, and so on. This works. And yeah, we can also introduce feedback. So here I can put a knob for feedback, and here we have to calculate with the fact that if the feedback is lower than 1, then with each iteration we will multiply the signal, and we have to subtract that value. So we have to take the, so this will be the base of 1 of the power. So this is the base. We have to take it to that power of the number of iterations. So this is going to be the exponent. And we simply need to multiply here by this value. Like this. And we have 4, we have 3, let's go up to 8. And it just works, and this is neat. So let's put this whole thing into a node. Fixed step delay. And first create one input flag. So audio will come in here. Create one feedback input called FB. Create a delay time, call it D, and create a tap number, call it tap. And we can get rid of everything here, and this is the output. And yeah, call it just fixed step so it fits in the node. I can plug this here, and I create the quickest kick synth that I can imagine. So I just do this, multiply the envelope follower by a value between 1 and let's say 16, and create a sine function just after that. And a little high pass filter won't hurt, like this. And we plug it there, create a MIDI note so I can trigger this, and let's see if this works. It works, so let's also listen to it. That's okay. This is our kick synth now, and we want to delay this. So let's create some parameters, like let's use a feedback of 0.9, delay time of let's say 100 milliseconds, and let's use 4 taps. 0.3, or feedback time of 1. I think this is pretty funny. It's interesting that this works, and let's also give this a mix between the dry signal and the wet signal. And yeah, that one can go somewhere else, and here we can put the controls right here and this right here, and you can use knobs. This is just for demonstration because this way it's quicker for me, but this just works. Delay time of 30, 8 steps. This is quite interesting. And what you can do here, you can't insert anything into this feedback loop because then you would have to loop also that and pre-calculate what would be on the point of subtraction. So this is quite fixed. This is all you can do, and modulation also makes it quite it's not fortunate to modulate this, but you can create strange sounding, so you can affect this further, like you can put these into or you can add a delay to these, like a delay modulated node. And this is already something that you could enhance, or you could work further. You could create a simple feedback loop, and you could insert filters inside of it, and then have this strange fixed step part, and then you could have another one. And one thing to note is that these looks like something that's capable of positive feedbacks. So I wanted to do this, like let's use 4 steps and make them louder by each steps, but unfortunately that doesn't work out well because of limitations of how numbers are represented in computers. So actually you cannot subtract, or I did not manage to do it. If I won't give up, then I will restart these once again and take a look at how I can manage positive feedbacks, but I couldn't do it. But I'm happy with this one. Yeah, so let's use 16 steps. And it just works, and it's funny. 3 steps. So this is an interesting idea. I think this can be used in sound design, and this can be used especially for special kind of delay effects, and enhanced with other things like I don't know, maybe make this a bit longer and use this as the initial for a reverb, and I don't know. There's so many possibilities. It makes no sense to talk about it for so long. The idea is hopefully clear, and I hope this was an interesting video and you had fun watching this. If you feel like that, then subscribe, and yeah, leave a comment or leave your ideas, and also show me what you did. So yeah, you can send me patches, and I will try to help you if you have any questions and stuff like that. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.